There are two versions of the Biyang metal end distortion pedal. Today here in the dungeon, we're going to compare the two. Now, once upon a time, early on in my the earlier stages of my channel, I actually did a video on the Biyang metal end, the Metal End Pro specifically, and I'll allude on that here more in a second. And the very first, I actually did two videos on that one. The first one I did was a long time ago, and honestly, the video was terrible and it had terrible audio quality, and that, you know, looking back on it, I thought it was a terrible video. But surprisingly, it actually did generate quite a few views, particularly for as small as my channel was at that time. So I went back later, about, you know, maybe less than a year ago, and did another one as a revisit with better audio. And I do really like this pedal. However, there is actually two versions of that pedal that Biyang puts on the market. There's the Metal End Pro, which is the one that I have, and the one that I demoed. And there is another version called the Metal End King. And the King is supposed to be, they're the exact same pedal, but the King is supposed to have upgraded higher end components on the inside of it. You know, German made, some German made components, I believe. So, however, there is not one single video on YouTube. There is one video that I could find that compares them, and the audio, it was shot with a cell phone. You can't hear any difference between them. So this is a video I've always wanted to do. I finally acquired a Metal End King that I could shoot this video with. So we're going to shoot the two of them out very quickly and see if we can hear a difference and discuss it. Okay, just so you have an idea of what's going on here. We've got two versions of the metal end, the Biyang metal end. The only visual difference between the two, is the Metal End King, which is the one on the right, actually has a little crown logo right there above the N and the word end. Visually, that's the only difference between the two. Everything else on them is completely identical. So, to reiterate, the Metal End King has the crown, the Metal End Pro does not. I have these two pedals set up exactly the same. Even the levels are the same. We've got both levels at about 9 o'clock. The lows are set at about just short of 3 o'clock. The mid-freak control, which is essentially a notch filter, is turned all the way down on both of them to increase as much mid-range as we can. The mid control itself is at about 1 o'clock. The highs are at about 11 o'clock, and the gain is right at 12 o'clock noon. Both of them are in the warm mode with the high cut engaged. Try and shave off, smooth out some of that top end that this thing has. Playing it in modern mode, and the only adjustment that I'm going to make on either of these for the purpose of this demo is switching back and forth that switch on the far left, which is the amp simulator, because that switch actually does quite a bit. Other things in this signal path, because I think the Boss FS5U is actually in the camera shot. So that is connected to my trusty old Boss DD7 delay pedal, which is running through the effects loop along with my TC Electronic Third Dimension chorus, neither of which are on. They're just in there because I was using them for something earlier. So you have the Metal End King into the Metal End Pro, and then they're going into the Beat Buddy, which also is not going to be used in this video. So let's hear how they sound. All right, so there you have it. Is there a difference between the two? Yes, there is definitely a difference. I do think the King version actually does sound better. There's definitely more high end in it. There's no question about that, and I did not mess with, you know, if I turn down the treble control just a little bit, which I would probably do in a normal setting, you know, because matched up both settings, one versus the other, the Metal & King is just a little bit bright for my taste. So that said, I would probably turn down the treble control just a little bit to tweak that out. But the other big difference that I do notice between the two is there is quite a bit more clarity out of the Metal & King versus the Metal & Pro. I have said numerous times I do really like the Metal & Pro, and I think it's a for what I paid for it. I think I bought it for like 60 bucks, 59 bucks online somewhere. They're not, you know, they're very affordable pedals. The difference in price between the two is generally between $10 and about $25, depending on where you go. Right before this video, I saw the Metal & King for as inexpensive as $69 on Reverb, which is about as cheap as I've seen it anywhere. So, you know, for the difference in price, you know, if you can swing the extra 10, 15, 20, 25 bucks for the Metal & King rather, I would probably do it. The reason why I went with the more inexpensive version at the time was because at the time I didn't know a whole lot about Biyang as a company, and I figured they were just most likely another Chinese OEM company, and they build, you know, having their, you know, their products built for, you know, built by who knows, you know, out of the same factory that the Joyos and all that other stuff may come out of. I didn't know. I wasn't sure. I just figured that, you know, between the two, I might as well save, you know, 10 bucks or so, or whatever the difference was at the time. You know, and I received the Metal & Pro, and without having any comparison to the other one, I was very happy with it. Now that I have heard the two together side by side, and also now that I know that Biyang, by the way, is not an OEM company. They actually do design and these are their own designs, and they do build them themselves. They do OEM stuff for other companies, but Biyang, I believe, is under the same corporate umbrella as Akai, who also has the you know, the Headrush and the Headrush brand, and Alto, and a number of other brands that are all under that corporate umbrella that sometimes they kind of cross-pollinate with each other, and, you know, they slap different brand names on some of their different products, and they don't like to admit that they own as many brands as they do, is my understanding. But this is part of that family of brands. That being said, they do design and build their own pedals, and the ones that I have played I've been very impressed with. So, you know, particularly for the price point, I think they're a very good product, and, you know, if you're on a budget especially, definitely worth checking out. I've been very happy with them so far. Links to everything, all the gear used in this video will be listed down in the description below, and as well as any other links that I can think to cram down in there. Also, and that includes a link to my new merch shop on Teespring. If you would like to support my channel, you can do so by treating yourself to a brand new t-shirt. And I can attest, having bought a couple of myself already, no, I didn't get any free ones. I had to buy them just like everybody else. That said, they are very comfortable t-shirts, and your support would mean a lot to me. Please leave me a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. And if you haven't already, please consider hitting the subscribe button to this channel. Should be right down yonder, around there somewhere, I think. And the little alert icon right next to it will ensure, theoretically, that you don't miss out on any videos that I upload, which is on Wednesdays and Saturdays. And thank you so much for watching. You know what? There are tons of young people out there that want to get involved in music and do not have the means to do so. If you are watching this video, most likely you're a musician, and many experienced musicians have tons of broken and unwanted gear lying around that they're not doing anything with. Please visit my friends at Share the Music on Facebook at the link below and learn how you and your unwanted gear can help change somebody's life.